So far in this story, you have seen that Lily has come on second honeymoon with her husband to give another chance to her marriage. But in the bungalow where she has stayed, one after the other such incidents started happening, which was completely beyond Lily's understanding. Then one night, while searching for her husband, she reached a room where hundreds of newborn children were thirsty for her blood. But then she saw a box, and not a single one of those children was coming near that box. Lily immediately understood that only this box can save her from death. Thinking this, as soon as Lily opened the box, a strong bright light came out of it, due to which her face was scorching. Still, before closing the box, she put her hand inside and tried to find something. But what did the poor woman know? That she herself put her hand in the mouth of death. Lily felt as if she had put her hand between the teeth of an animal, and that animal was crushing the bones of her hand. When Lily took out her hand with all her strength, her entire hand was soaked in blood. But she was holding something with all her might, a letter, which she got from inside the box. Lily immediately wanted to open the letter and read it, but all her desires were shattered. The paper was completely blank. Nothing was written on it, neither front nor back.
So much bloodshed, so much pain, just for this blank piece of paper.
Saying to herself, Lily was cursing her own fate. Then somehow she managed herself, treated herself, and came back to the room. But then she realized that Ronnie was not on the bed. Lily started worrying about Ronnie. She could not understand where he could have gone at this time of night. As soon as she came near the window to see Ronnie, she saw the worst scene of her life. A woman whose stomach was cut, hands and legs tied with ropes, and she is walking in the garden behind the bungalow. And behind her, an army of hundreds of newborn children is chasing that woman. These were the same newborn children from whom Lily ran away after saving her life.
What is all this happening? First the attack of the newborn children, then Ronnie's disappearance, and now this woman. There is definitely a connection somewhere between all this.
Having said this, when Lily looked back, Ronnie was standing there. He had just come from outside. But before that, Lily would ask Ronnie something. He fanned this spark. He had come here only to resolve the misunderstanding.
It's nothing like that. It's all an illusion of your mind. The truth is, you still want to go to your friend to enjoy. My love is not enough for you, isn't it?
I'm saying, for God's sake, shut up.
Why should I be silent? Feeling ashamed to hear the truth? And I don't even know the child you are raising, if it's my blood or someone else's sin.
How many times have I told you this? This was a mistake, for which I have apologized 1,000 times. Why don't you leave me?
Forgiveness is given for mistake, punishment is given for crime. And you did the crime.
Hearing all this, Lily's eyes became moist. And Ronnie also smiled, and quietly lay down on the bed, and fell asleep. But poor Lily kept crying by the window all night. But in the morning, she was convinced of this, that there must be some problem in this bungalow. Lily would not have decided to leave the job if the relationship had not deteriorated. So, as a journalist, she would definitely go to the bottom of the matter. But thinking about her unborn child, she felt right to leave the bungalow. The next morning, Lily was ready to pack all her belongings and leave the house. But Ronnie did not listen to her, and gradually, this matter turned into an argument, and the argument reached the point of fighting. When the matter went out of control, and Ronnie slapped Lily for the first time after the marriage, then took her and locked her in a dark room. Lily was crying bitterly and pleading with Ronnie for her freedom, but no one listened to her. Tired Lily found a candle and matchbox in the room. By lighting the candle, there was light in the room, but Lily's heart was sad. Her condition was getting worse by the day. Then she felt as if there was something in her pocket. When she took it out and saw, it was the same letter, which Lily got from the box. She was about to burn it, thinking it was blank paper. But as soon as she put the paper near the fire, she could see the letters written on the paper. Lily soon realized that the person who wrote the letter had used acidic water and not ink, which becomes visible when exposed to heat. As soon as the letters appeared, Lily started reading the letter, and within a few minutes, she had understood the whole matter, knowing which the ground slipped under her feet. She came to know today that there can be so much cruelty inside a human being. After knowing everything, if she was waiting for anyone, it was only Madame Leona. But Lily's wish was also going to be fulfilled tonight only. At nightfall, Madame Leona brought Lily to the basement and tied her on the operation table.
After a long time, I will be able to enjoy my youth again. I have waited a long time for this chance.
I know your truth. Do you think that eating flesh of unborn children will keep you young forever? This is a sin. God will never forgive you for this.
Hey, who is going to apologize? You know, there is no pain after death. One has to live for that. All our desires vanish in a moment. Everything becomes zero.
Saying this, Madame Lily raised her hand and took the scalpel. When Lily closed her eyes and just said this,
Help me, Mom. I'm scared of this woman.
as soon as Lily said this, the lights in the basement started creaking. Once again, the cries of children started coming from every corner of the bungalow. What's more, rotten bodies of newborn children started digging out the ground from the garden behind the bungalow. Madame Iliana also found it all strange, but before she could understand anything, the spirit of a woman was standing in front of Madame Leona.
Alona, you?
Madame Leona was about to run away in fear on seeing Alona. But as soon as she saw the dead bodies of hundreds of newborn children, she froze. She could not believe her eyes. At this time, death was hovering all around Madame Leona. That's when Alona's soul grabbed Madame Leona's hand and forcefully tore her stomach with her own hand. And then, at the behest of Alona, hundreds of newborn children also fell on Madame Leona together, made herself young by eating the flesh of the newborn. Today, the same children were eating flesh from her body. Madame Leona's painful screams were echoing in the whole bungalow. Screaming and rubbing her heels in pain, Madame Leona said goodbye to this world. Every brick of the bungalow trembled with her screams. And soon after the death of Madame Leona, along with the newborn children, the soul of Alona also got freedom. But you must be wondering how Lily came to know that Alona was her mother. Actually, when Lily read the letter, she understood everything clearly. Lily understood as soon as she saw the writing that it was written by her mother. And Alona gave birth to a living child, not a dead one. After saving her from Madame Leona, a man left her in an orphanage. Ilona used to write a letter to her child every day. Being from a big family, No one used to come to meet her. Everyone thinks that the child in Ilona's womb belongs to one of her boyfriends, but the truth was that the child growing in Ilona's womb was not of anyone else. But this thing never came to the fore, and neither did her uncle allow it to come. Just sent the tricked Ilona to Madame Leona for delivery. Ilona had written everything in the letter, but alas, she could never send the last letter she wrote to her daughter. Friends, today's story is based on the incident that happened during the Second World War, in which a couple living in Canada ran a maternity house, where together they used to do the delivery of single mothers who do not have any support. But it is not just this. The children who were of mixed race or were unfit for society, they would be buried alive in a box, and other beautiful children were sold. In a way, it used to be a shop for buying babies of that time. A victim of the same incident also wrote a book on it in 1992 called Butterbox Babies, which author has conveyed to you in his own words. So if you like our story, then subscribe to the channel and share the video as much as possible. We will meet you again in the next story of Dodo TV.